Hey there, Virgo. This is a reading for full moon in Libra, which occurs around the 16th or 17th of April, depending on where you are in the world. We're going to be taking a look at how that full moon impacts you in terms of what it can help you release, what it can help you embrace, and how it prepares you for whatever happens next. So we're going to clarify and get specifics with the tarot cards, but let's see what these oracle cards say. In terms of the full moon in Libra affecting what you can release, you have this Ifrit power. So in a sense, if there is power that you have been having over you, or feeling like it's a power that's being held over you, or possibly power that you haven't been using. So we'll take a look at that. In terms of what the full moon can help you embrace, adventure. Dare to do things differently. Manifest your travel dreams. Move to a new location. So this just tells you what to do. In terms of the full moon's energy, it impacts the second house for you, which is the house of value. So that's your value of yourself, how you relate to material possessions, and overall dealing with money and how you use it. So perhaps valuing a new location, using your money for travel. We'll see. In terms of how the full moon can prepare you going forward, you have discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. For this card, you can see there is a person in the foreground kind of looking off to one side. In the background, there's two individuals kind of looking at the hills and kind of pointing and having a discussion there. And there's even a path and road signs there. And this card is really kind of standing in the light of truth, discovering your truth, is going on your own path and figuring out for yourself what you want to experience in life. So let's get some tarot cards to get particulars about this. All right, so let's find out about this release of power here. You have the King of Swords, pretty powerful energy. You have the Fool, and you have the King of Pentacles. So you have two kings here. That the King of Swords is air on air. Kings are associated with the element of air, so it's definitely thought-based, solving problems using reason, analysis, thought. And with the King of Pentacles, they're more air and earth. So there is still that assertive energy with the air sign, but they're more grounded and receptive with the earth element. But with two kings, it seems double the power. King of Swords are very definitive. It's with the King of Pentacles, they seem more practical in the sense both of the kings, they got to where they are kind of based on their experience. The King of Swords, their ability to make decisions that might not be popular. The King of Pentacles, based on doing the work and accumulating the wealth, not only for themselves but to share with others. So with a Fool, it's a sense of taking a risk. So we'll clarify these cards here, but in terms of what this can help you release, the sense of power. For some of you, it might be individuals that have a kind of power over your ability to kind of explore your world. Perhaps parent figures, whoever wears the pants in your family kind of growing up. Mentors, bosses even. So some people, it might also be, significant others, people from your past as well. So let's take a look at this adventure card. This is what the full moon in Libra can help you to embrace. You have the Nine of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Ten of Pentacles. So with the Nine of Swords, that's a sense of kind of fear and anxiety over something that you really can't control. It's stress, your mind just working itself in a frenzy, possibly even interfering with your sleep, maybe even headaches. With the Judgment card, it's a sense of needing a moment to honestly reflect on where you are, your choices in the past, your actions, agreements you made, agreements you broke, based on the situation in the past. Accept what took place, take responsibility for what you need to take responsibility for, and then kind of just let that go so that you're not carrying baggage with you as you move forward. And the Ten of Pentacles here, it's a sense of kind of having it all in terms of material possessions, being able to share that with your community, a sense of a legacy. For some of you, this dare to do things differently might have to do with family business, family tradition, some type of legacy that you feel you might want to break away from. Some type of family expectation that might have to do with, it seems to have to do with like material things. Maybe even a home. Maybe, move to a new location. So it's kind of stressing you a little bit about trying to do things differently. This Fool card here. So we'll clarify these later, but it's kind of seeming as if there's certain expectations of individuals that are really determining or have determined certain choices that you make, experiences, and so forth, that this full moon in Libra is trying to kind of bring to the surface. So let's look at this discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth, kind of, you know, like I said, this individual in the foreground is not going the way that these other individuals are discussing amongst themselves. And, you know, there's even, and looks like an elderly individual there talking and looking at the mountains. And seems like that person has experience, has knowledge, but this discovering truth card is, you know, looks like the person in the foreground is kind of a younger individual, but still needing to figure out their own truth and not going the route of, you know, what the other wiser, more experienced people might say. So let's take a look here. You have the Queen of Cups, Temperance, and you have the Empress. So interesting how over here this is all more kind of feminine energies with the Queen of Cups. Queens are associated with the element of water, and so are cups. So here you have like water on water, which is very much receptive, being nurturing, connecting with emotions, using your intuition. Then you have the Empress, which is all about creating, being in touch with yourself, your sensuality, embracing the, you know, feminine energy. And it doesn't matter what sex or gender you are, everyone has a sense of feminine energy and uses it at different times, expresses it at different times. And the Empress is about having like an abundant mindset and really leading the way for growth and creativity. And you have this Temperance card here, and what's interesting is, you know, there's a lot of different ideas about, you know, the tarot, but for the Temperance card, there's an idea that it's an angel that's, you know, androgynous, hermaphrodite, both male and female, and so it's really balancing. It's balancing those energies, and it's about a sense of peace, and that kind of comes about when you have your Zen moment, your understanding of what your truth is. What I also like about the Temperance card is it gives this, you can see here, there's attention and intention involved in the angel's gaze at the liquids being mixed. Although this card makes it look like it's more gravity at work, the traditional card, the two pitchers or chalices, whatever they are, they're at an angle where it's unnatural It's not gravity mixing the two liquids together. It's something more magical, angelic involved. And to me, Temperance card is about balance. It's about peace, harmony. It's about learning something, taking the past and the present, mixing it together, creating the future that you want, in a sense of creating your own heaven on earth, your own future that you can be excited about and find success, your definition of success. So here, this standing in the light of truth, it seems kind of to say, take all things into consideration, use your intuition, be connected with yourself, and recognize that you have the ability to kind of create whatever world you want to live in. So let's clarify these cards here. So far, Virgo, it kind of seems pretty straightforward, except for the power, the releasing the power. It's almost as if it's power is the hold over you, and your own inner power needs to be released. So let's look at the Fool. Because in comparison, this Fool here, in a sense, is supposed to have less power than these two kings. But in a sense, that Fool has the power of not being held to really anything, not having expectations, and kind of free to explore. Now the King of Swords and King of Pentacles, they probably at one point had some of those freedoms and have decided not worth certain risks. Definitely the King of Swords is very risk adverse. And the King of Pentacles probably does cost-benefit analysis in terms of material aspects, and have decided some risks are really not worth taking. But there is some power in having that freedom and having the ability to accept life with open arms in the sense of wonder. So let's see what you have here with the Fool. You have Three of Wands, vision. So definitely an approach to expanding out and pursuing what it is that you feel you need to experience, to be successful, to kind of propel you forward. For some of you, it might be even moving. So let's look at the King of Swords. Very severe. Both of these kings look very severe, at least in this deck. You can see here, they don't look like they take any back talk. So let's look at the King of Swords. You have Two of Swords, decisions. Look at the King of Pentacles. You have Three of Discs, works is what it says at the bottom here. So what I'm kind of sensing here is that, these kings are people that you have the choice to allow to influence you. It seems like the King of Swords puts a little bit more, because the King of Swords is so severe, it's almost as if making decisions is kind of really difficult for you, or at least a particular decision about your own power and how you see yourself in the world. Because it's almost as you'd prefer not to make a decision. And with the King of Pentacles clarified by the Three of Discs or Three of Pentacles, you can use the information gained from that individual to really help you to kind of grow and expand in terms of what it is you want to do for work, for career, and so forth. So it could even be characteristics, the King of Swords and King of Pentacles, characteristics of even one person in your life where, their decisions were the ones that go and they were very successful financially. So you have the choice to kind of pick and choose the qualities of certain people that you want to embrace and really let go of those certain qualities that you don't want to embrace. So let's take a look at the Ten of Pentacles over here in this, embracing adventure aspect. The Ten of Pentacles. You have the Hierophant, which is very much about tradition, ritual, even, religion, if that's the kind of the legacy of the family as well. It could, if the issue is kind of following a particular religion, even going to a particular school for education. I know that causes problems as well. So it's almost as if this kind of manifest your travel dreams, move to a new location is almost, could be tied to a legacy involving your family to an institution or a certain kind of belief. Let's take a look at the Judgment card here. You have the Lovers. This is about making decisions for your long term. Doing something where you are going to commit yourself fully. And so the Judgment is kind of like what do you want to dedicate yourself to? And possibly even in the past, this can do with romantic relationships, but the Lovers is about all types of partnerships, unions, choices, decisions that you make. So it's almost telling you, think about who it is that you chose to love in the past, and maybe you want to love different type of people now. Okay, let's take a look at the Nine of Swords. You have the Queen of Wands. Vibrancy. So Virgo, it could be, that the Nine of Swords is this idea that's kind of, you feel like you don't have a choice. I think I was saying that Nine of Swords is stressing over things that are really outside of your control. But it seems with the Lovers, you do have a sense of control over how you look at the choices you've made, how you make choices going forward. And really, it's this Queen of Wands is kind of the vibe of who you can be. Queen of Wands is, someone who steps up whenever they feel the need. They called to it. They pursue their passion. They kind of radiate when they walk into a room. People are drawn to them. And Virgo, that's a sense of, there's a sense of mystery to the Queen of Wands, a sense of being a leader of the pack, and that is you at times. And the Nine of Swords, the stressing, is you at times. So basically, if you're caught up in the stressing, distress, fear, and anxiety, this full moon in Libra is calling you to step into your Queen of Wandness and do things differently. Step to the beat of your own drum. So let's go to this Discovering Truth. Let's look at Temperance here, because even though the Queen of Cups and the Empress are both grand, Temperance is supposed to be an angel. So if we're going to start with truth, I'd probably go there. Let's see that. You have the Tower. So it's almost as if you're going to have to deal with certain beliefs kind of giving way and not really having that solid foundation as you thought they did. And you're going to have to create a path forward, having focus, intention, attention to what it is that you are creating for yourself in the future. So, for some people, it could be even you've already experienced this Tower moment. So let's, but either way, when that divine intervention comes in, seeking balance, having peace, a willingness to learn something new, that's probably a good place to be after a Tower moment. So let's look at the Queen of Cups here and see how the Queen of Cups is involved in this truth. Okay, you have Nine of Cups, fulfillment. So it is really kind of calling on you to embrace your emotions. Your emotions, and that, seem to really have been used to create fear for you to do something outside of your normal routine of what is expected of you. But your emotions, tapping into your emotions and acknowledging how you feel, especially with this, the Queen of Cups and the Empress, not only feel inside, but feeling in terms of your senses, your sexuality, your sensuality, and your creativity, like all of that. It really will allow you to feel more confident about who you are, and who you want around you, the life that you want to be living. And the Nine of Cups is about, wishes being granted and fulfilled. And it seems that tapping into your more feminine energies, receiving even, allowing things to happen, allowing things to fall away that don't work for your best and highest good. That will really kind of allow you to kind of pursue whatever it is that you want. Let's look at the Empress. You have the Princess of Cups, or the Page of Cups, dreams. So like I said, pretty much you can, being in touch with your intuition, your creativity, really you can achieve whatever it is that you want. This looks like a pretty good reading, impactful for mid-April, full moon in Libra. To get a clearer view of things, be sure to check out your readings for sun, moon, and rising signs. We'll see you next time. Take care.